statement by Canada, Australia, and New Zealand backing sustainable ceasefire in Gaza.
Ladies and gentlemen, the pleb is back. If things couldn't get any more crazy for Justin Trudeau, well, they certainly are, because this week, Justin Trudeau got endorsed by an international terrorist organization. As well, tonight, Pierre Poilievre has been giving out end-of-year interviews, and the reaction from the Liberals has been beyond hilarious as Mark Garrison goes out and absolutely embarrasses himself at a press conference. And in our last story, Christia Freeland gets herself another booster and gets herself ratioed. Stick around, you won't want to miss tonight's story. Today's episode has been brought to you by Beaver Bitcoin, Canada's best Bitcoin exchange. Do you guys want to know where the best place is to get your Bitcoin instantly? It's over at Beaver Bitcoin. It's really that simple. All you need to do is send an Interac e-transfer and you get your Bitcoin deposited instantly. If you guys want to get some Bitcoin, head over to beaverbitcoin.com. Links in the description below. Thanks for sponsoring today's report. Welcome to your Thursday report, guys. We're going to have some fun here today. Got a lot of funny clips. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. But before we get into the clips, I got to give you guys an update here on this petition I've been promoting on the channel. This petition to get rid of Justin Trudeau. We started promoting this at 200,000 signatures. Well, guess what? This petition now has 366,000 signatures at the time of recording this video. Absolutely incredible. This petition is almost 100,000 signatures more than the previous record, which tells me that Canadians absolutely despise Justin Trudeau. And if you haven't signed this petition already, check the comments down below. I'll pin it at the top. Tonight's story kicks off with Pierre Poilievre's end-of-year interviews. The left, the Liberals, are having a collective meltdown over what Pierre said in these interviews, to the point where they went and had an actual press conference to talk about Pierre's interviews. Absolutely unhinged behavior. But before we get to that, let's go watch these Pierre interviews and see what the fuss is all about. Shout out to Andrew Lawton here at True North for getting this interview. In this clip, you're going to see Pierre Poilievre call Justin Trudeau an authoritarian. And this is what made the left absolutely cry on X.
What is that hurdle going to be for you in getting people who are not aligning themselves with the word conservative or the Conservative Party, but you think will go along with your vision?
I think it's connecting with people who are small C conservatives and turning them into big C conservatives. As Jason Kenney used to say this all the time. So, I was meeting with a group from the Tamil community today, and they basically said, we're conservative on everything. Family values, they all run small businesses, they want law and order in their community, and they're heavily patriotic. But the party hadn't built a relationship with their community. So I have to go in one by one and make the friendships and the relationships, look people in the eye, and make that personal connection so that they can vote their values, which are all conservative. The other thing about our coalition is that there's not going to be a Liberal Party in the next election. Justin Trudeau, of course, he's not a Liberal. He's a radical authoritarian. He's the opposite of Liberal. He's very illiberal. And so I'm going to be...
That is awesome. Awesome. Play that again.
...which are all conservative. The other thing about our coalition is that there's not going to be a Liberal Party in the next election. Justin Trudeau, of course, he's not a Liberal. He's a radical authoritarian. He's the opposite of Liberal. He's very illiberal. And so I'm going to be going to a lot of Liberal voters and say, this is not the party of Chrétien, Manley, Martin. This is a radical authoritarian diversion that you've never seen before and that you don't recognize. And let's vote for what was the common sense consensus of Canada before he came along.
Perfectly said by Pierre Poilievre. I don't think there's a better way to describe Justin Trudeau than as a radical authoritarian. That's exactly what he is. Look at the last 3 years in this country and everything he put us through. What else would you describe him as? Seriously. And I want to give a shout out here to Pierre Poilievre for the way he sat in that interview. It's quite refreshing to see a leader who actually sits like a man. Unlike Justin Trudeau with his crossed legs and his fancy socks, Pierre Poilievre sitting there man-spreading like an absolute alpha. But this was not the only interview that Pierre Poilievre gave. He also gave an interview to Rex Murphy, and it triggered the left so bad that Rachel Gilmore made a TikTok about it. Let's watch. Okay, guys, get ready. We're about to get some world-class journalism here from none other than Rachel Gilmore, who's going to tell us, what did Pierre Poilievre do this time, Rachel?
And make a hard pivot to what's happening in schools, and you can probably guess where this is going.
Where is it going?
The sexual confusions that obtain. We think we should be able to keep it to ourselves. Where did they get the gall to say that they're superior to the parents?
Not for me.
And how is that stopped? This is not a made-up thing.
We have to respect parental rights, and I stand for parental rights.
Good.
That term he used, parental rights, is an anti-LGBTQ dog whistle. It's also popular with Moms for Liberty and Ron DeSantis.
Ah, yes, the 20-something-year-old with no kids wants to tell parents across this country how to raise their children. Rachel is out of touch. Parents are fed up with the woke mind virus. They're fed up with their kids being taught about pronouns or taught that there's a million genders. You know what? Parental rights is common sense, and this country has jumped the shark. Thank God for Pierre Poilievre standing up for parental rights and against absolute lunatics like Rachel Gilmore and the far left. Now we are going to get into the funny part, because after these interviews, for whatever reason, the Liberals thought it would be a good idea to send Mark Garrison to a press conference to talk about Pierre Poilievre's interviews. You gotta listen to this. It is so funny. Let's have ourselves a laugh.
Say about the fact that you're holding a press conference to respond to his year-end interviews. I mean, how far back on your heels are you that you feel the need to do that? We haven't seen the Conservatives respond to any of the Prime Ministers.
What it says is that we're putting...
Why are you holding a press conference about his year-end interviews? Oh, man, how far back on your heels are you? That is... Man, shout out to that journalist, whoever that was, asking the questions. Beautiful. Sorry, I'll rewind.
Holding a press conference to respond to his year-end interviews. I mean, how far back on your heels are you that you feel the need to do that? We haven't seen the Conservatives respond to any of the Prime Ministers.
What it says is that we're putting... We have confidently, for 4 months in this House, put forward plans, specific plans, detailed plans on everything that I just talked about.
And yet he's getting under your skin.
And Mr. Poilievre arrives with these tropes and these slogans and doesn't manage to get questioned at all aggressively about his specific plans to improve the lives of Canadians.
What's your issue here? That he did some friendly interviews?
I'm
just confused as to why we're here and why we're listening and doing this.
Mr. Poilievre has spent the last 3 days giving these fuzzy, comfy little interviews in safe spaces for him. That's all very nice for him.
Okay, so when is the last time Justin Trudeau has done an interview that wasn't in a fuzzy scenario or with favorable media? Are you kidding me? Okay, how about this? How about we send Justin Trudeau for an interview with Rebel News? And we'll send Pierre Poilievre for an interview with the CBC. Let's do that, okay? That sounds like a good idea. Let's do a trade.
Soit dit en passant, aucun en français à date. On va donner la chance aux coureurs. Aucun en français. But Mr. Poilievre has spent the last 3 days giving these fuzzy, and what we thought was, oh, a long-form interview. An hour here, a half hour there. We're going to hear some plans. We're going to hear some specifics. But yet, Mr. Poilievre comes forward with the same tired tropes that Mr. Gerretsen and I listened to and all of you listened to every day for the last 4 months.
Why is he leading in every public opinion poll then? for almost more than almost a year now.
You know what Diefenbaker said, right? Polls are for dogs, and there's going to be an election at some point in the future. We're going to be very happy and very confident to put our plans and our specifics in front of Canadians and let Mr. Poilievre try and get away with these tropes and these tired tropes that he's involved in.
Oh my God. Who in their right mind thought that sending these guys for a press conference to talk about Pierre Poilievre's interviews was a good idea. Absolute clown show. But it gets even crazier because Mark Garrison takes the mic and embarrasses the Liberal Party even further. Watch this.
At the end of the day, Mr. Poilievre's approach is exactly like Donald Trump's approach from the United States. It's all about feeding in and feeding off of the emotions of people to try to get the better of them. Our job, one of our jobs, is going to be to point that out, and that's exactly what we're doing here today.
But isn't that? Isn't this what an election campaign is for? Like, pardon me, we're not in a campaign. That's typically when a leader will put out a platform. That's when they detail their policy.
I mean, you would have to ask yourself: isn't the way that Mr. Poilievre acts now and has always been acting what an election
He revealed his platform in 2013. He revealed it in the 2015 election campaign.
Pardon me?
Justin Trudeau became leader in 2013. Didn't reveal a platform then. He revealed it in the, election campaign.
But we were certainly talking about our values and what was important to us.
That's not quite true either.
And
who in their right minds thought it was a good idea to send Mark Gerretsen and whatever that other MP's name out there to go and talk about Pierre's interviews in a press conference? I want to give a shout out to the media for actually doing their job and calling out this stupidity. And to the Liberal Party, please continue sending out Mark Gerretsen. He makes amazing content. Please, we want to see more Mark Gerretsen at press conferences. But you want to know what the best part of this press conference is none other than our friend of the channel here, Red Pill, who took this clip of Mark Garrison and made it even funnier. Watch this. Okay, I can't play the audio for copyright reasons, but the music in the background is the sound of silence. Watch this. Red Pill, you crazy for this one. You crazy for this one.
Hello, darkness.
Look at Garrison's face. Look at his lips. He made Garrison's lips quiver.
Left its seeds while I was sleeping.
This clip's going viral. Has 2,500 likes on it in less than a day. Absolutely amazing work once again, Red Pill. In our next story, things are getting crazier and crazier by the day here in Canada. It's like every day there's a new level of insanity that has been reached. And what I'm about to show you is probably truly the most insane thing I've ever showed on this channel. Everyone knows that Justin Trudeau is very unpopular. His polling numbers are terrible. At all-time lows. His approval rating is at all-time lows. But guess what? When Justin Trudeau is down, he received a massive endorsement, guys. A huge endorsement by none other than a terrorist organization. I can't believe I'm saying this. For those who don't know who this is on the screen, this is the leader of Hamas telling Trudeau what a great job he's doing and how he approves his policies. Watch this.
By Canada, Australia, and New Zealand backing sustainable ceasefire in Gaza. We welcome these developments and consider them in the right direction toward isolation the fascist Israeli government globally and ending the longer ever occupation in our modern time.
All right, two things here. For starters, all right, everyone in the world seems to hate Justin Trudeau now, but guess what? Apparently the terrorists don't. The terrorists think Justin Trudeau is doing a good job. How crazy is that? And secondly, how much money did that clip just save the Conservative Party in advertising ads? Seriously, that clip alone saved the Conservatives millions of dollars. If I was them, I would just run this ad on television of Hamas, a recognized terrorist organization, giving Justin Trudeau his props. How completely insane. And after receiving an endorsement from a terrorist organization, the Liberals came out in a panic, with Melanie Joly releasing this statement here, guys. Let's read it. Hamas are terrorists. Our statement was clear. For a ceasefire to be sustainable, Hamas must release all hostages, stop using Palestinian civilians as human shields, and lay down its arms. They have no future in Gaza. We continue to unequivocally condemn Hamas's terror attacks on Israel on October 7th, the appalling loss of life, and the heinous acts of violence perpetrated in those attacks, including the orchestrated acts of sexual violence. They do not represent the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people. Can you imagine getting endorsed by a terrorist organization? Like, how crazy is that? How about this? Here's my thought. If a terrorist organization is endorsing your government, Justin Trudeau should probably not be our prime minister. Now, there were many responses and quote tweets to this statement, but I'm going to take Matt Gurney's here because it kind of reflects how I'm feeling. And he wrote, "I don't know what the F they are doing. I don't know what the F they are doing either. But I'm here to report on this absolute clown show. Insanity." In our next story, Chrystia Freeland is once again getting ratioed. 1 year ago on this channel, one of the first videos I made that blew up was Chrystia Freeland gets ratioed for taking another booster. Well, 1 year later, guys, Chrystia Freeland is once again posting her booster shots and getting herself ratioed. As you can see from this tweet here, it has 2,700 likes and 6,200 comments. Absolute bloodbath of a ratio. Let's read some of these comments underneath this ridiculous tweet. Cat Canada tells Chrystia Freeland, "Please keep your cult rituals private. Nobody wants to see this." Exactly. It is a cult. COVID is a cult. Petrified COVID parent writes, "I'm surprised they could get the syringe in with all your twitching." Savage. I got a comment and I almost got the ratio. I got the most liked comment here saying, "Nothing says I'm an absolute moron like taking COVID boosters. I knew you were stupid based on how you run our country's finances, but this is the icing on the cake. What an idiot." Christy for Change writes, "Keep going." Look, honestly, if those vaccines are real, yes, keep going. But as I've seen in my comments, most of you think that these vaccines are just saline and that they're fake. So, yeah. Barry writes, as you are advertising pharmaceutical products, aren't you obliged to list the risks involved in one's health? Right? Why are our government officials literally advertising pharmaceutical products? Isn't that illegal? I don't know. Tell me in the comments down below. And our last comment here from Worldwide Vids, this one cracked me up. "People who still vote Liberal." Perfect. You can call me crazy for this statement, but Chrystia Freeland is known to twitch around and shake around, and she's still taking her boosters. So let me ask you a question. Do you think her twitching has anything to do with the amount of shots she's taking? I'm curious. Tell me in the comments down below. In our last segment here, Mark Gerretsen yesterday put out a tweet, and he forgot to do something that he always does, which is turn off the comments. The tweet reads here, "I'm listening. How about all my conservative colleagues? It's time for you guys to abandon Trump and support Ukraine." Well, this tweet absolutely got itself ratioed as expected here with 553 likes and 2,100 comments. Quite the beating. It's a rare occurrence that we get to go read comments under a Mark Garrison post, so let's do that. Let's go read the comment. Adam Bice responds with this hilarious meme here saying, with Trudeau and Garrison saying, "Fine, just a photo, but you'll never get a cabinet position." Gold. One of my favorites, Stacey Monette, writes, more importantly, she does a poll underneath Mark's tweet here saying, "Should Mark and his buddy Steve do another dumpster fire press conference? Yes, it was hilarious," or no, too embarrassing. 92% of you voted yes, it was hilarious. And I agree. I want to see more Mark Gerretsen press conferences because it makes for amazing content, because it is a clown show and a circus. More Mark Gerretsen press. Oh, and now Chris Whitehead responds with the Red Pill North meme, asking him if this is you. Guys, if you ever happen to catch Mark Garrison with his comments on, save this video and respond to Mark Garrison with this, because it is bloody amazing. And my favorite comment comes from Gerretsen, writing, I can't afford Ukraine. I'm already working overtime to pay for your tampons, Mark. For those who don't know, the government is now putting free tampons in men's washrooms in all government buildings. Welcome to Trudeau's clown world. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today's video, but I'm going to ask you guys a question here to end off today's video like I always do. Chrystia Freeland's booster, was that real or was that fake? Saline. Tell me in the comments down below what you think. I'm very, very curious. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, share it out, hit the like button so more people see it, subscribe to my channel. How about that? My name is the Pleb. This was today's report, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Peace.